Today in the Sunbelt League, this season is heating up with the playoffs coming closer to our door. Today brings another exciting matchup between two evenly matched teams in the Alpharetta Aviators and Waleska Wild Things. These two teams are only a game apart in the standings, with the Aviators sporting an 11-12 record and the Wild Things sporting a 12-11 record. The Wild Things are cemented in the third spot and the Aviators are down in the fourth spot, so both these teams are in contention for the wild card spot right now, but the Wild Things have home field advantage in that field. They were able to pull through in a statement win 11-4 yesterday, with the bats consistently providing offense. The Aviators will be looking to strike early with their offense led by Emery Guilford, who will have to start this plane towards lifting off. They'll be facing Waleska's most experienced starting pitcher in Jay Watson first. Meanwhile, the Wild Things will be looking to pull further ahead in the standings with a win here. They'll be going against pitcher Benjamin Weiser on the mound tonight. They'll also be looking to keep the streak going after a rough beginning of July. I'm Owen Hillman. We're about to start. So far, the Aviators are 7th in pitching ERA, in whip, and in slugging. And hitting has not told a better story yet this season, as their .253 average is tied for 7th, almost dead last in the league. .358 OPS is last in the league. And the .361 slugging, which is bases per at-bat, for those of you familiar with the stats, is tied for 6th. They'll need to win this one, though, as the next series will be against Gainesville, who is looking to get the home field advantage in the entirety of the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Wild Things have a much stronger batting core on the surface, with a .271 batting average ranked 2nd, a .395 on-base percentage, which includes walks along with hits, ranked 3rd in that, and .382 slugging, which is also 3rd. Their pitching is a little less familiar. All right, as the umpires come on, we're about to start the national anthem. Pitching is ranked 5th in ERA, 5th in whip, and 6th in slugging. So it'll be a matchup between Waleska's strong offense against the average leader in Emery Guilford. I'm Owen Hillman. We'll be right back. We're watching Sunbelt League Network on Sidearm Streams. As the national anthem rings on and the umpires meet up with each other, we do have the same crew from yesterday's game against the Aviators. I'll begin to announce the Alpharetta Aviators lineup. At first, we have Trey Kaiser as the center fielder, number 8. Number 9, Emery Guilford will be batting 2nd. Left field, he'll be the pilot for this team. Corey Dowdle, the first baseman, the hulking figure, will be number 34. On the cleanup hitter will be 14, Ryan Stevens, the catcher. Number 5 will be Burton Hahn, right fielder, will be number 11. The 6-hole hitter will be Tyson Roberson, the EH, number 35. Number 16, Tyler James Nelson, third baseman, will be 7th batter in this lineup. Will Mahoney, the second baseman, will be wearing number 10, will be number 8 in this lineup. Landon Armstrong will be number 9 in this lineup, he's wearing number 4. And Bo Ritchie will be the last hitter in this lineup. Here's the defense for the Waleska Wild Things. You got Luis Dion at short. Caleb Scott at second. At first, you got Caden Sheffield replacing Logan Floyd. At third base, you have the everyday player Cade Fuller, who is 2nd in the league in home runs this year. Fun fact. Left field, you got Isaiah Martin. Hudson Miles is going to be the center fielder. At right field is Gabe Yanto. And on the pitcher spot right now is Jay Watson, the sidearm starter here, who's leading his team in ERA for starters. If you guys are referencing this, you can take a picture. I'm about to get rid of it real quick. Jay Watson so far through 6 games and 5 games started. He has 27 hits allowed, 13 walks allowed, but 22 strikeouts through 5 games. 11 earned runs, though, 5 of them unearned, but that still leads his team in ERA for starters. A 2-3 record could be improved upon today, but he's just looking to potentially get a quality start against this squad, this Aviators lineup that's desperate to get another win here and potentially even up their series against Waleska and potentially slide themselves up to the third spot behind Gainesville and Chocolaco. And as this playoff sphere, as this season heats up and it's nearing its end, we look at Gainesville and Chocolaco, who are in their own tier right now. Both those teams have already clinched a playoff spot as the 1 and 2 seed. The Gainesville Gold Diggers, of course, the reigning champions from 2023, and the Chocolaco Monsters looking to take the throne away from them. They've been very hot so far recently. And up first will be Trey Kaiser, the center fielder, number 8. Kaiser's got a .216 average, a .326 on-base percentage, and a .343 slugging. So a little bit pedestrian so far, and that'll be the first ball. That'll be a ball there for him. First pitch of the game. Watson kicks and fires. And that's downstairs again, 2-0 now. And the pitch from Watson is smacked to third. And that's on it. The throw to first is in time. That'll be Cade Fuller making the play at third, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So 6-3 will start things off. Up next will be Emery Guilford. As I mentioned, the pilot of this lineup. I say that because he usually hits leadoff for this squad. He leads the league in average right now at the .433 average. Real solid numbers for him. That's saying it lightly. And that's not inside. That'll be ball 1. As I mentioned, Chocolaco and Gainesville have the top 2 spots right now, but 3 and 4 are held by these 2 teams, Waleska and Alpharetta. And that's smacked to center field. That'll be a base hit off the bat of Guilford. Guilford trying to go to first, and he'll stay there for a single. So that'll be the first hit of the game. And of course, who else but Guilford off that bat? That'll definitely improve his average. Up next will be Corey Dowdle. A hulking man is at 305 pounds. The first baseman, number 34, will be up. And you figured he has more power on his bat. And that's a throw to first. That will not get him there. They'll be safe. Dowdle so far this season has had a .222 average, a .353 on base percentage. So real good with the patience, and that's outside. That'll be ball 1. And a .407 slugging. So he's real patient at the plate. That was evident yesterday when he had 2 walks and a single. He had a near perfect day yesterday. And an error, and that's hit to short. Dion over to second. The throw to first in time. Double play. And they get out of this inning in relatively quick fashion. The Wild Things will be looking to capitalize after the 11-4 win yesterday. They'll be looking for some more offense. They had a run in all the first 4 innings yesterday. But let's see if they can do that again. I'm Owen Hillman. We'll be back for the bottom of the first inning. You're watching the Sunbelt League Network on Sidearm Streams. Here's the Wild Things lineup to the left. On the right, you got Emery Guilford at left, Trey Kaiser at center field, Burton Hahn at the right spot, Landon Armstrong's at shortstop, Will Mahoney's at second base, Corey Dowdle will be at first, and Tyler James Nelson will be on the third base side. Ryan Stevens is the catcher, and on the mound right now is Benjamin Weiser. The Wild Things lineup is to the left here. Hudson Miles will be leadoff center fielder. Caden Sheffield, the first baseman, will be second. Cade Fuller will be third. Logan Foy, the EH, will be fourth. Louis Dion, the shortstop, will be fifth. Caleb Scott will bat sixth. Gabe Yonto, the right fielder, will be seventh. He's taking the place of one of the Jones brothers out there. Isaiah Martin, the left fielder, will be 8. Kevin Hammond will be 9, and Sean Bridges will be 10. And here comes Hudson Miles to the plate. Miles also had a really solid day, and so far he's been real solid all day long. And we'll have to wait a little bit. home plate umpire will get back to his position here. Miles had a near perfect day as well. A single, 2 walks, and a sac fly. And that's downstairs in for a ball. 1-0 now to Hudson Miles. Miles is one of the more reliable bats for the squad, and that's outside. That'll be a ball again. That'll be 2-0 now. The 2-0 is smacked right to the pitcher, but the shortstop there's got it. Oh, he did. He bumbled it there, and that'll be an error. It looks like that'll be an error off of him. And he'll get on safely here. So that'll be the first base runner of the day for the Waleska lineup. Off of an error by shortstop Landon Armstrong. Up next will be Caden Sheffield, the first baseman out of Georgia. He's second to the team in average, and that's smacked to third. Nelson to second for 1. To first is way high. Oh my goodness! And that's in the dugout. So Sheffield will go to second here, and as they try to get the double play, it gets into a disaster. Just airmailed by the second baseman Mahoney. And I totally understand it. Mahoney is trying to get there, but I just don't. His feet weren't set, and he was trying to jump past it to Dowdle. And Dowdle's pretty tall there at first, but I just didn't see him able to get that one. Mahoney was trying to jump there, and up next will be Cade Fuller, the third baseman. So it's a fielder's choice on his part. That's outside, and Stevens is able to get that one. That'll be a ball, though. Weiser on the mound now. Weiser through 8 games, and that's in there for a strike. That'll be 1-1 now. Weiser through 8 games has started 3 of them. He's had 14 base on balls, 21 strikeouts, and 14 hits, 7 unearned runs. So a solid 3.37 ERA through 18.2 innings played. That doesn't lead his squad, but it's still really, really solid. And let's see, did he go around? And it doesn't look like he did, so that'll be 2-1 now. Sheffield standing at second now due to the error from Will Mahoney. That's upstairs, ball 3. That'll make it 3-1 now. And Fuller is going to be one of these bats that Waleska lies on. He was part of that midseason team that went up against the Atlanta Coastal League. And that's the third ball, So that'll be 3-2 now. It's the full count. Miscounted the 2-2 there. Must have been calling a strike there on the outside. And it gets set. The full count is smacked to right field, but way too far right. That'll be a foul and not in play. You know that Cade Fuller can rip it for sure. He's second in the league in home runs, as I mentioned, and second in the league in RBIs as well, actually, with 20 on his ledger, behind Caden Huffman from the Atlanta Crackers. And that's hit off the end of the bat, foul again. Fuller is basically the heart of this lineup right now. And I wouldn't feel too good having to face against Fuller and Floyd up next, too, who's been really solid this season. Both the corner infielders usually have been really solid for the squad. And that's outside. That'll be ball 4. So Fuller will get on base with a walk. We've seen that he's been pretty patient so far. Fuller had a walk and a triple yesterday. Up next will be Logan Floyd. Speaking of yesterday for him, Floyd had a base hit and a double and another base hit. So he was 3 for 4 in the day. He had a couple RBIs of his own, too. Now there's runners in first and second. And that's smacked to center field. Kaiser looking to be under it. He's running back, still going back, and that's off the wall. And Fuller's running to third. Sheffield. Fuller's now running to third. Sheffield will score, and that'll bring in 2 runs off the bat of Logan Floyd. And a 2 RBI double, and that'll make it 2-0 Wild Things. And that will start the scoring here for this club. This club that's oh so solid at starting off strong. They've had a run in the first 3 innings every single one of the last 3 games now. Excuse me, run the first inning every single one of the last 3 games. Up next will be Luis Dion. And that's outside. That'll be ball 1. Not too far up from Benjamin Weiser. Man, to think if Mahoney was able to set his feet into the double play. I mean, I get that Sheffield is fast there, but you put a runner in scoring position if you bring that far out, and that's our crew a little same guys from yesterday, but different people at home at third and at second right now. Looking at second, the deal, and that's smack to outside of third. That'll be foul. 2-1 now. As I mentioned, Dion was a quality batter. Has been a quality batter for a shortstop, for sure. And that showed yesterday. He had a sac fly that advanced the runner to third, along with a single and a walk. And that's popped up. And that'll be past me in the broadcast booth. And that'll be a souvenir for a young fan. That'll be foul off the bat of Dion. That'll make it 2-2. 1 out now. Still a runner in second. That's Floyd. And he gets set. The 2-2 is downstairs. That'll make it full. 3-2 now. So full count to Louis Dion. And that's the first full count of the game for Weiser. So his second one. And he deals. And again, that'll be foul. Too far left off the bat of Dion. Dion's getting back in the batter's box now. Man, this Wild Things lineup is oh so good at striking early. Most of those starting pitchers seem to be taken out after the 4th or 5th inning, and that's a walk again to Louis Dion. That's his second walk. That's Weiser's second walk of the day. Up next will be Caleb Scott, the second baseman, who's the 6th person in this lineup. Scott did not play yesterday, but he did play against Cartersville on Thursday. And he had a single, and 2 strikeouts on his ledger. And that's downstairs. It'll be a ball again, so 1-0 now. Bit of the control issues from Travis. He's been using that fastball, trying to get that inside corner, but it's going too far down on him. It's going way too far down, and I've had that experience. I think he's just overexerting it. There you go. The inside pitch is jammed to third. Oh my goodness, they do a collision there, and that was caught by Nelson there, third. So a bit of a dangerous ball there, but Nelson is able to snag it after the collision at third base. And that'll be the second out of the inning now. Wow, I mean, we've seen batted balls like that be put into play. I mean, there was a pop-up by Logan Floyd later in the game where nobody was able to call it. Up next will be Gabe Yanto after the pop fly to the third baseman. He swings and misses at that one. That's a good pitch there. Good changeup there to fool Yanto. We're like a rising fastball, excuse me. Yanto didn't play yesterday either, but he played in Cartersville, and that's line to right field, but that'll be just foul off the bat. That'll be 0-2 now to Gabe Yanto. Yeah, he definitely wish he would have gotten that fair, because that would have more than likely scored at least one of those runs, if not both of them. Floyd is pretty fast at second, and Dion is very fast at first. Those are the two runners on right now. Scoreboard doesn't show it right now, but it's 0-2 Wild Things. Pitch. It's downstairs, and looks like Stevens will be able to track it down. That'll be 1-2 now. The downside fastball there. He's only used fastballs in this pitch so far. Looks like second, the 1-2. And that's foul again. We'll do the 1-2 again. Is that more of like a two-seamer or a changeup there? I saw some downward motion on that one. Just some solid downward motion off the arm of Benjamin Weiser. Real solid. I think that got about like 10 to 11 amounts of vertical movement, or negative 10, but depending on the negative motion going down. It's set. The 1-2 is again down away. That'll be 2-2. We've seen him try to locate that inside fastball, and he was successful in that last at bat, but so far it's just too far down. It's having to get the catcher Stevens to flay a little bit to the right. The 2-2 again down and away. 3-2 now. The full count to Gabe Yonto. We've seen a couple times Gabe Yonto is really patient at the plate. Yonto has a .413 slugging percentage. That's thanks to a .382 on-base percentage, and that he'll take his walk there, and that'll load the bases with 2 outs. And he just needs to get this final out here. But up next will be Isaiah Martin. And as he's seen a couple times at his pitching staff, I mean, this Waleska Wild Things team does not give up with 2 outs. And the second baseman, Mahoney, will be talking over to Weiser now. Weiser's pitched a good few today, for sure. His pitch count's pretty high right now. And he's had 3 walks on his letter so far. That's not really good to have for a pitcher. Usually the average pitched inning is 16 balls, but he has 12 of them at minimum, if you count all the balls that he's pitched on his walks. That's downstairs for a ball again. That'll be 1-0. And I don't know if it's just the inside pitcher, if it's just that spot. I don't think he's been able to get the right side, to get that left side anyway. He set the 1-0. Once again, far outside, 2-0 now. Weiser is yet to be ahead in the count yet since Caleb Scott. He was able to get him out there, so positive effects read the positive correlation. And the pitch. Outside again, 3-0 now to Isaiah Martin. We haven't seen him bat these past couple of days, so this is his first time batting since his last game on Wednesday. The 3-0 count. And that will be ball 4 to him, so a 4-pitch walk and a bases loaded walk will score in a run, so that'll make it 3-0 Wild Things. Oh my goodness. With 2 outs now, he'll take his base. And that's 4 walks on the day from Benjamin Weiser, only in the first inning. And that's smacked to short. And he'll throw it to second, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So, very easy 3rd out there. But unfortunately, thanks to Weiser walking a couple batters, the Wild Things are now up 3-0, and they're basically producing their bread and butter on the batter's box now. They've been feasting on singles at the plate, and that big hit from Logan Floyd is able to score 2 in, and then a bases loaded walk by Weiser scored another in. We'll see what the Aviators do to counteract this hot surge for the Wild Things they're so good at doing. I'm Owen Hillman, and you're watching the Sunbelt League Network on Sidearm Streams. Welcome back, Sunbelt League fans. We're through one right now, and the Wild Things are doing what they always do, striking the first. They've played it 3 against this Aviators pitching staff that seems to not know what has hit them. And they'll have to counteract with some good batting. And first will be Ryan Stevens, the catcher, number 14. Stevens hasn't played and didn't play in the last game, and that's swing and a miss. That'll be strike 1. Stevens will get in now. Stevens has a 206 average, a 341, and that's off the end of the bat and foul. 206 average, a 341 on base percentage, so solid on base percentage, but that's where his slugging numbers come in. A 295 slugging. You don't really want to have your slugging be lower than your on base percentage. That means you're not really hitting for power. And that's behind him there. That'll be ball 1 that almost hit Stevens. And that's a little too far inside for his liking. Watson will be coming back now. The 1-2 pitch is swung on in left field, but that'll be foul. Cranked there, but that'll be 1-2 again now to Stevens. And he wished he would have gotten that further fair, but he was on top of that pitch. He must be looking for the inside from Watson, so Watson will probably be looking for an outside slider. And that's upstairs, but that'll be hit and foul. Gets the netting there. Hope nobody was jump scared watching some TV or on their screens. 1-2 will happen again. Here it goes. And that's hit to right field. That'll get down for a base hit. That'll be the second hit of the day for this Aviators lineup, and Stevens will get on board with a single. And hopefully for them, that it doesn't end up in a double play again. Up next will be Burton Hahn, the right fielder. And Watson's still faced against the minimum so far. And that's hit off the end of the bat and foul off of Hahn. Hahn played against Waleska yesterday, and he had a pretty nondescript day. He had a single, but he only had a 1-for-4 night with 2 strikeouts. And that's a throwback to first that'll not get him there. Strange to see Watson be able to pull off that move so effectively. He's a right-handed pitcher, which gives him a disadvantage in trying to pick off first. And there he goes again, and that's, again, not going to get it done. 3-0 Wild Things now, if you guys are tuning in. Still 0-1 against Burton Hahn. And another pickoff move, and he may not be able to do that again in this at-bat. Otherwise, he'll be awarded a base there. I believe it's 4 times that he does that. We've seen him get in trouble for that before. 1-1 now to Hahn. We've seen him get in trouble for that before once. I believe it was the game against Gainesville where he picked off a runner 4 times, and as a result, he had to advance. That's way inside again. That'll be 2-1. Hahn before this series had a 176 average, 256 on base percentage, and a 353 slugging. So definitely looking for better numbers from him as his team later on. That's hit to third. Oh, that's off the glove of Nelson. The throw from Dion won't be in time. That'll be an infield hit from Burton Hahn there. Well, let's see if that'll be called a hit or an error there, as that's off the body of Cade Fuller. That must have been a harmful shot to have, but up next will be Tyson Roberson. We saw him pinch hit for the squad yesterday. He had a fly out to left field. That was a pretty strong base hit. That would have been a pretty strong base hit if it wasn't to left field. Right to Jones at left. It'll be 1-0 now to him. Watson still looking at second. The 1-0 is inside, and he swung at that one. He would have been able to get on base with a hit by pitch, but nope, he swung at that one. That'll be 1-1. Robertson is an 091 average, 158 on base percentage at a 242 slugging, and he gets nothing but air in that one. That'll be 1-2. Good pitch from Watson there. He was well behind it with that swing. Good inside location in the fastball, and that's just dirty stuff from from Watson. And he'll call a timeout here just to recuperate on the batter's box here. Over at second is Stevens, and Burton Hahn is at first, as they couldn't get anything. They couldn't get anything off that play, and that swung to right field. Yanto looking back, still looking back, and gone! You can kiss that ball goodbye. The Aviators have tied it up on a 3-run homer from Tyson Robertson. And I guess he benefited from not getting hit by pitch after all. Big blast to right field, and that will tie it up now. The Aviators are able to finally get some early runs here off the bat of Tyson Robertson. Good swing there. And that was a mistake pitch from Watson, who's been trying to get that inside pitch, and it finally bit him there. Up next will be Tyler James Nelson. And that swung on and missed. That'll be 0-1. Tyler James Nelson will be in. And that's downstairs. It'll be 1-1 now. DJ Nelson batted yesterday. Had a walk, a sacrifice fly, and another walk. So he was 0 for 2 in the night, but still really productive, and 2 RBIs in his ledger. And that looks like it's fair off his bat, but that'll be called a foul anyway. That'll be 1-2. Must have gotten out of the catcher's hands there. That's Kevin Hammond there on the backstop. Tyler James Nelson has had a 226 average. That's outside for ball 2. He's at a 226 average. He's got a 400 on-base percentage, so really good numbers for him, but a 355 slugging, which also means he doesn't hit for that much power. So let's see what he could do here, and that's outside. It'll be 3-2. I will say we've seen that outside pitch be called a good bit in this last game, and the other game against Cartersville for Waleska. So I'm surprised. I'm glad that's being less leaning on that one, and that's popped up, and that looks like it's Watson or it, but that'll be caught by Scott there, and that'll be the second out of this inning. Excuse me, the first out of this inning. And up next will be Will Mahoney, the second baseman, number 10. Mahoney was in yesterday's contest, and he had a hit by pitch and a single, so a relatively productive day. And a sword swing from him will be around for sure. That'll be 0-1 now to him. Mahoney has a 265 average, 419, and that's chopped to third. Fuller charging. The throw to first is in time. That'll be the second out of the inning for this squad. And it's very rare to see Watson give up the long ball so far, but he did give that one up against Tyson Robertson to tie it up now. We have a whole new ball game. And the scoreboard reads 0-4. Does it know something that I don't? And that's downstairs. It'll be 1-0. By the scoreboard, I'm talking about the scoreboard at Reinhardt University at Ken C. White Baseball Field. For those of you tuning in, Reinhardt University, this Waleska Wild Things is full of people. They have the manager and they have a couple players as well. That'll be outside. It'll be 2-0. As I mentioned, there's a lot of people in Reinhardt University. Guys like James Tilley, Brock Weiss, who you saw pitch in this last game against Cartersville. And that's smacked to left, and that's off the glove of Fuller. Fuller will try to make the play still, and he won't get him. That'll be safe, and that'll be a single off the bat of Will Mahoney there. And a very entertaining play there, but just right off the glove of Fuller, and that's a bad break there for Jay Watson as he was looking to get out of that inning. That was Landon Armstrong there instead of Will Mahoney. Mahoney's the one who got the pop fly. Up next will be Bo Ritchie, the catcher, as a 10-hole hitter, and that's Fuller will get that. The throw to first is in time. That'll be the third out of the inning, and the Aviators have gone through the lineup, and they've tied the game thanks to a big fly from Tyson Robertson. Lift off from the skies, that one. But so far, the Wild Things will be looking to continue the streak of runs in the first, second, and third inning. They'll be looking to continue that early, near-the-game dominance. We're going to be right back at the bottom of the second. I'm Owen Hillman, and you're watching the Sunbelt League Network on Sidearm Streams. Welcome back here. We're 30 minutes through this game right now, and we're only at the bottom of the second. For those of you guys that missed it, it's been quite the roller coaster here. The Waleska Wild Things scored 3 runs in the first inning off of a double by Floyd and a bases loaded walk by Weiser. But then the Aviators are able to fly back into this game with the big fly from Tyson Robertson. Up next here will be Sean Bridges, number 2 here. He'll be the last person in this lineup, and we'll go around to Miles and Sheffield next. That'll be upstairs for a ball. Bridges was in yesterday's game for the squad. Bridges was also the last hitter for the squad, but that didn't mean he wasn't productive. He reached on an error and got a stolen base there. That'll be in for a strike, 1-1. He had a strikeout in the next at-bat, but then he had a double, and that's popped up to right field. And Burton Hahn makes the catch there, and that'll be a pretty quick first out there. And Weiser will no doubt be looking to have a quicker inning than this last inning. A lot of pitches from Weiser in that last inning, so he'll be looking to either get some soft contact or just make sure to strike him out. Up next will be Hudson Miles, who reached on an error in his last at-bat, and will be a ball there, 1-0. It looks like it was a little bit on the line there, but let's see. That one wasn't on the line. That'll be 2-0. Miles reached via an error, as I mentioned. The 2-0 is smacked to left field. Base hit for Miles, and that will get him on. He'll scurry back to first base, and that'll be a single off the bat of Miles. Man, he's been Mr. Consistency in this series. That's his 4th time. That's his 5th time getting to first base in this series. It's 2-game series against this squad. Up next will be Caden Sheffield, who was victim of fielder's choice, but not really a victim, as he's able to chop this one to third off the bat or glove of Robertson, and he'll be going to third. Miles will be heading there, and that'll be a single for Caden Sheffield. And you know why they call it the hot corner there? That's why. Hot shot there to third. And that's Tyler James Nelson at third. Wasn't able to get that one. So now Miles at third and Sheffield at first. Up next will be Cade Fuller, who had a walk in his last inning. Fuller's shown patience so far, and he's shown basically everything that you want as a batter so far, outside of maybe speed. But you can do without speed if you've got the power that he has. He has 7 home runs in his ledger. Excuse me, I misspoke. Yes, he has 6 home runs in his ledger so far. Outside for 2-0. And chopped foul. 2-1 off his bat. And just letting you guys know that the next Monday will be where the playoffs start. You'll be tuning in the Sunbelt League Network, and the playoff rules are as follows. First and second teams have the bye. That's Gainesville and Chocolaca right now in those spots. they'll have to seriously collapse the end of the season to give those up. The third team will be versus the sixth team, and that'll be a walk for Fuller to load the bases again. And Weiser has gotten his 5th walk today. And Fuller will have his 2nd walk of the day. Up next will be Logan Floyd. Floyd had a double that scored the first 2 runs of this game, and he could really do damage here with a double for sure. And that's, again, outside, ball 1. And again, just some control issues from Weiser there on that mound. He's been worked to the bone against these batters and just not been giving them a lot of good pitches to hit. And the ones that he's been giving them, they've been able to strike on them. Just not a lot of borderline strikes in his way. And that's foul, 1-1. And you can blame a little bit of it on just the ungraceful strike zone to the outside, but even then, like, most of these pitches are like outside or like far down, and you just don't want to get trapped into giving batters walks, especially bases loaded walks. That's usually the worst sign for a pitcher. That'll be 2-1 now. Anyway, as I mentioned, the wild card will start next week on Monday. The third team, which is Waleska versus against team number 6, which right now is Cartersville. 4v5 will go up, and that'll be Alpharetta. That'll be against the Atlanta Crackers. And that's off the end of the bat and foul, 2-2 now. And the semifinal could potentially be on Wednesday or Friday, and that depends on the wild card. And this is very important. The 3 and 4 squads have a 1-game advantage as well. That's outside, and they're in a full, and that seems to be Benjamin Weiser's favorite count right now. That'll be full again with the full bases. And this could bring in the go-ahead run. He needs to pitch a strike here. Let's see. And he doesn't. That'll be a bases-loaded walk from Floyd, and that'll bring in the go-ahead run for the Wild Things and make it 4-3. Oh, boy. So just been so many walks here from Weiser. That's his 6th one of the day so far, and he's only through 1 inning, 1 and a third innings right now due to outs. And they're trying to comfort him there, just trying to tell him to just aim for the strike zone, man. Just look for pitches. Just give these batters pitches to hit. Let him beat you. Don't beat yourself with walks. You can't beat yourself with walks here. Wild Things score another run. That's 4 now. That's another tally to their early totals. This team is so good at dominating early. They're really good against the starters, and that's foul off the bat of Louis Dion, who had a walk, speak of the devil, in his first at-bat. And we're now through a lineup and a half for this Wild Thing squad. Now, he tries to throw to second there, but that won't do anything, as he wasn't ready there at short. And the pitch from him is outside for ball 1. Once again, he's just trying to execute with that down and away fastball, but it just isn't working for him. You just gotta scrap that pitch. I think you just gotta have that fastball further inside. I have no idea. And that's smacked off the bat of Louis Dion. That'll get extra bases. Dion reigned his second. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and that'll be a 2 RBI double for Louis Dion. And the Wild Things have extended their lead to 3. It's now 6-3 Wild Things. Dion with just a very impressive at-bat there. I mean, Weiser's got no choice but to give him a pitch to hit, and he struck gold on that one. A 2-bagger RBI on his part. Up next will be Caleb Scott, who had a pop out to the second baseman, speak of the devil, his other second baseman, and that's outside and foul. Now they're runners in second and third with 1 out here, and I don't think you want to walk another person here, but it may not be the end of the world here if you walk somebody. But with how many walks he's given up, I'd rather you not. I'd rather you give him a pitch to offer at least, and then try to just let the defense behind you execute. They've had a couple errors today, don't get me wrong, but that's the whole point of them being back there. And the sun's shining here right at center field outside this. We're sorry for the blinding lights. That weekend song's pretty cool, by the way. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. That'll be 1-2 now. One and two now to Caleb Scott. And Dion just rips that one to right field. Just almost one-hop the wall there. And the pitch is way inside. It almost hit him there. That'll be 2-2 though. Surprised that didn't. That looked like it almost hit Scott. I thought that would for sure. Yeah, now the sun is peeking through the clouds now. Looks like a beautiful sight here. If I can really see it. Being blinded by it. It feels like the Ark of the Covenant in the Infinity War game. That's hit the first. Dowdle will throw home, and the throw won't be in time. Oh no, and that'll be another run for the Wild Things. And Dowdle tries to go home there, but it doesn't end up working, and the Wild Things will now lead 7-3. So some hustle there from Cade Fuller at third, and Caleb Scott gets on board with the base hit. And, I don't mean to be that guy, because I see what Dowdle was trying to do, but you're at first. You gotta just I think you just gotta get an out there, but, Fuller is pretty fast, and that's way outside, and that'll be a stolen base, unimpeded there from Caleb Scott. So now runners on second and third now, and that's downstairs. It'll be 1-0. Up next will be Gabe Yonto, who had a walk in that last inning. And that's outside. That'll be 2-0 now. Floyd is leading the day with our terms of RBIs, and there you go. That's going to be called for a strike. That'll be 2-1 now. 2-1 now to Floyd, and he swings and misses at that one. That'll be 2-2 to Yonto. The pitch is swung on to center field. That's popped up to Kaiser, and Kaiser will get this one, but there'll be a tag up at home in the third. He'll throw to third, and that will not be in time, and that will bring in another run for the Wild Things. So productive out off the bat of Yonto, and that'll make it 8-3 Wild Things. But there are two outs now. So a sac fly RBI off of Yonto, and up next will be Isaiah Martin, who was walked with the bases loaded in his last at-bat. And Benjamin Weiser taking the board, and that's popped to right. That'll be way too far right. That'll be foul. And the pitch is smacked to third, but that's right into Nelson's glove, and the throw will be in time to get the third out of the inning. But again, though, the Wild Things are able to strike, and it's in a big way. They get 5 runs against the Aviators in this bottom of the second inning. They just can't be stopped in the early going here. The Aviators will, of course, need to strike some more. The Wild Things are flying higher than them right now. But the third inning will hopefully bring some entertainment for the Aviators, and we'll be right back with that one. I'm Owen Hillman, and you're watching the Sunbelt League Network on Sidearm Streams. Welcome back, everybody. We're through 2 innings right now, and we've seen a ton of action. The Wild Things and Aviators have really been giving us a show offensively. The Wild Things were able to strike really effectively here. Up next will be Trey Kaiser. That's outside. That'll be ball one. And outside of that homer, he's been really dragging along, and that's right on the line and foul, 1-1. And I will say Watson's been kind of humming along as usual, except for that home run by Tyson Robertson. Robertson was really hunting for that inside pitch, and he was able to get one that he can crank. The 1-1 is in there for a strike, 1-2. I do love this umpire's strike call. Instead of like instead of this we would call like left hand extended, right hand back, like a fist sort of. He like kind of imitates a check swing with this swing, and that'll be 2-2 now. And the 2-2 is smacked to short. Dion charging at it now, throwing to first. It'll be in time by a couple feet. So that'll be the first out of the inning. We're off Louis Dion, who's been real solid so far. That'll be Trey Kaiser's second, 6-3 today. And up next will be Emery Guilford, who did everything he needed to. He had a single, but unfortunately, he got victim of a double play. Excuse me, it'll be Emery Guilford coming up. He had a single, but unfortunately he was double up, despite his speed at first. That's inside for a ball. And that's inside again for a ball. That'll be 2-0. We're nearing the end of this league, and it's interesting to see what I'm interested to see the teams, the execution of managers of these players once they get back into the pros, like in their colleges. I'm interested to see if this tape is enough to get these guys a spot in lineups. Guilford for sure, as he walks that one, and he'll be on base for a second time today. Real solid from him so far. Up next will be Corey Dowdle, who, as I said, was a victim of double play. Unfortunately, all that size doesn't guarantee speed, as Dowdle was not able to outrun the throw to first. And the pitch inside, that'll be ball one. Dowdle's real patient at the plate. I remember he got that double play off of a 2-2 count, so he was able to see some pitches that he wanted, but unfortunately just not able to get good contact on it, or just got really unlucky. And that's in there for a strike. Strike one. The umpire doing the old check swing motion there on the right. And pitch. That's outside. That'll be 2-1 now. And yeah, that was where he wanted to put it. If he wanted a fastball outside, and just a good play there by Dowdle to lay off of that one. Good place to the fastball, and lays off that one too. 3-1. Dowdle has really good vision so far. As we saw yesterday, he had 2 walks and a single. And he reached base every single time. He's got real unlucky, and that's swung on and foul off his bat. That'll make it full, 3-2. We got some hijinks in the scoreboard now. The pitch is swung on and fouled again, 3-2 to him now. He'll get back on. Again, I'm interested to see how the coaches in college will utilize this tape. And he swings in there. That'll be foul again. And Guilford definitely did go, as he should have probably in that full count, but better late than never. Dowdle does not have a commitment to a college so far. But so far this season's been one of more solid batters of the squad. And a swing and a miss, and that'll get him out for the second out of the inning. Good pitch there by Watson to the inside, able to more or less check swing him, and Dowdle will get off with a strikeout. Up next will be Ryan Stevens, the catcher here. Had a single in his last at bat. Was one of those runs that scored when Robertson hit that 3-run homer. And he'll throw back to first, and he's well aware of Guilford potentially stealing here. With 2 outs, though, I don't know if it's the best idea, but Guilford is really fast there at first, so I think that Brandon Boggs could absolutely use this to his advantage. And I hit him. And Stevens will get hit on the shoulder, and oh, that looks like it got his hand actually, and he's holding his left hand there, and man, that definitely did not look good. Definitely winced in pain there as he got to first, and Stevens will begrudgingly take that. Always the most painful way to get on base, especially since that pitch was right in the hands. That's the most painful place to put it, outside the shin. Up next will be Burton Hahn here. He has a single. Hopefully not a hit by pitch this next at bat like Stevens, and that's swung on and missed. That'll be 0-1. Good pitch by Watson there. He's had relatively good location today. The announcer's jinx might ruin him, but let's see. And that's way inside again. That'll be 1-1. Outside of that, he's been really attacking that inside spot, but sometimes that fastball's been getting away from him. And we saw that with the hit by pitch. We've seen it with a couple walks here. We saw it with a pop-up. That was the other guy, excuse me. And that's smacked off the bat. And let's see if that'll get down. It will. That'll trickle in for a base hit, and a throw to the plate is a good one. The throw to third won't be there, and that'll be off Cade Fuller's glove. That'll score another run. So a single off the bat of Burton Hahn turns into a double thanks to 2 concurrent, or at least 1 concurrent error off of Kevin Hammond, the catcher. And it'll make it 5-8 Aviators. And scores next to me are a little confused about that one. I don't blame you at all. It looks like he advanced via a base hit, for sure, because that one hit in right field. And that's swung on and missed off the batter Robertson, who had that big fly in the first inning. That only count as 1 RBI for Burton Hahn. And that's hit to left field. That's going to get down again. Base hit. 1 run will score. And he'll go to second now. And Robinson continues his impressive day with a double. And the Aviators are now down only 2 as it's 6-8 Wild Things. And the 2-out rally is going effectively so far, as the Aviators have really been finding a way to get back at this Wild Things pitching core. They were so ineffective at it yesterday, and the adjustments they've made have been awesome so far. Coming in to the plate was Burton Hahn there. Up next will be Tyler James Nelson, who had a pop-up in his last at-bat. Watson kicks and deals. Swung on a miss. That'll be 0-1. Both of those singles were kind of bloop hits where the left fielder or right fielder was not in near the line, and that's smacked and popped up. That'll be caught for the out by the right fielder, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. The Aviators are able to strike, though, and get 3 runs on the board, so they're in a good position right now to get the lead back in the top of the 4th, but the Wild Things are still blazing hot in the batter's box right now. We'll see if the Aviators can do anything about it, the pitching staff. They still haven't had consecutive shutout innings in this entire series. But we'll be right back for a hopefully entertaining bottom of the third. I'm Owen Hillman, and you're watching the Sunbelt League on Sidearm Streams. Welcome back, everybody. The sun is officially set underneath the trees. And as the sun sets, so does the start for Benjamin Weiser. And we have a new pitcher on the mound. It'd be Ryan Shate, number 30 for the squad. The often used bullpen arm will be coming in for the squad now. Excuse me, it'll be Ryan Schott there. Through 9 games, he has 8 hits, 19 strikeouts, but walks have come back to bite him. 15 walks, and that's led to 7 earned runs in his ledger, but he still has a nice 4.02 ERA through 15.2 starts. He'll be looking to keep that down as he'll be going up against this lineup. Up next will be Kevin Hammond. Up to bat. He's had a 6-3 double play, so he's had a 6-3 out the last time he was out there. And the pitch from Schott. And that's in there for a strike. 0-1 now. And that'll be called a ball there. That'll be 1-1. Schott, the lefty, stands at 6 foot, 190 pounds, goes to the University of Kentucky as a senior. So a very big name school has a guy pitching for the Alpharetta Aviators here. The Aviators' next series will be against Gainesville, in Gainesville. So unfortunately, they're going to be looking to get back here. That's outside again. They'll be 3-1. And one of the things that we talked about with Weiser is that he had some trouble with command. A lot of trouble with command. 6 walks is not a good number to have. And that's foul off the bat of Hammond. That'll be 3-2 now. Some hijinks from the scoreboard there, but I'll be at 3-2. As a result, the Wild Things have only needed 4 base hits to get 8 runs since there have been so many walks in this game. Off of Weiser, 6 walks is not sustainable. And there's another one. So that'll be a 7th walk of the day for the Aviators, and that will get on Kevin Hammond on base for his first appearance at first base this day. And up next will be Sean Bridges. Had a strikeout in his last at-bat. He'll be looking for some more productive out here. Shots making his movements. And it's poked right away in the foul. Bridges standing in. Shade kicks and deals. And that's way up high. That'll be 1-1, and he'll have to duck there in the batter's box. And walks were a bit of a troubling tale for the Alfred Aviators last time, as they let up 6 of them. But it was more or less the RBIs off of sac flies and big hits off of Cade Fuller. Everybody able to get runners in, but allowing 6 walks in a game is not exactly great. That's about a walk. That's a little less than a walk a inning, and that's not a pace you want to keep up. For the other side, it was just 1, 2. And that's not even counting hit by pitches either. And that's outside for 3-1 now. That's not even counting hit by pitches either. But for the Waleska pitching staff, they only allowed 3 walks against this Alpharetta lineup. Way more disciplined in terms of getting them to find something to chase, and that's, speaking of which, that'll be swung on and missed for another full count, 3-2. And the scoreboard fucks there a little bit, but it's back on track. Let's see what he decides to do. He has to throw a strike here. He can't be like the other guy, and he doesn't. So that'll be another walk there, and that's his second walk and only 2 tries. Sean Bridges will get on base for the first time. And they already have 8 walks in only 3 innings so far. And technically it's only 2 innings since there haven't been any outs this inning. But up next will be Hudson Miles, who reached on an error and has a single. He has yet to not be at first base yet in this entire series. So he's been really, really solid. Or he's only been off on base once. He had a sac fly and he tries to bunt there, but he gets back in time. That'll be 1-0. So Miles has been Mr. Reliable so far. Miles has really been Mr. Leadoff for the squad here, and he's been really consistent. This batting core is really dangerous. That's probably a good reason why the Wild Things are third right now and why they were near leading the league. And that's a bunt right to Dowdle. And nobody will come in the bag, and somebody will, but it won't be in time. And the bases are loaded now as nobody was covering. And some more defensive hijinks from this Aviators lineup, and Miles was able to get on board with a beautiful bunt base hit. How's that alliteration for you? Miles is a perfect 2 for 2 on the day. And I like the initiative from Dowdle, but I think the catcher's got to be the one to get that. And Dowdle's got to be the one to field that at first. I also like the timing from, it looks like that was the right fielder coming in, but I just don't get the move of going to right field, and that's going to get through for a base hit. 1 run will score. Bridges going to home, and the throw at the plate is way offline, and that bounces up. That's going to score another run. The throw is not in time, and that'll score 3. So that'll be 6-11 Wild Things now. And that'll be called a double off the bat of Caden Sheffield and 3 RBIs. And the double has been the magic word so far for this squad. And Ray Schott is being surrounded by his infielding squad. He's been just about as disastrous as Weiser has so far. Only 3 runs off this. 4 runs off of that. It's now 6-12 Wild Things. My mistake. Wild Things are doubling them in score. And then next will be Cade Fuller. This lineup is feasting right now. They've had double-digit runs in the last 2 games, and they've had at least a run per inning or more in the past 3 games. Just insanity. And that's outside for a strike.